In the currency quadrant today, taking a look at the June Canadian dollar, the loonie up 1% today. Largest single day rally in 10 months for the Canadian dollar. And that's the largest since the up 1.5% day that we got in June of 2020. It was actually June 1st of last year. We're at the highest price levels that we've seen since March 19th of this year and the highest settlement that we've seen since March 18th. That settlement up about 1%, about 98 basis points. So on the high, we were up 1.28%. That was 80.27, that high level. On the downside, 79.03.5 was down a little bit more than 0.25%, 28 basis points to be exact. The Bank of Canada meeting was what drove the Canadian dollar higher throughout most of the day. As I just mentioned, we pulled back a little bit in towards settlement because the Bank of Canada became the first to signal an exit from quantitative easing, saying that a rate hike would come sometime in 2020. Now, the policymakers, led by Governor Tiff Macklem, said that they would scale back purchases of government debt by a quarter to 3 billion Canadian dollar, about 2.4 billion US dollar, and accelerate the timetable for the possible rate increase, which they posted sometime in 2022. It's a pretty hawkish message by the Bank of Canada, certainly the most hawkish that we've seen by any central bank recently. They appear confident that once the current wave of infections dies down, the economic recovery will continue to be as strong as it was pre the recent lockdowns. Now, speaking of lockdowns, there are still lockdowns throughout Canada. Hamilton, for example, is still in a lockdown. Ontario is still in a lockdown. Toronto is coming out of one soon, going into a soft lockdown. So quite a bit of sort of closed economy dynamics going on, which made this announcement a little bit surprising. Then you also have to look at inflation and commodity prices. March Canadian inflation data missed today. The headline inflation rate came out at 2.2% of growth versus 2.3 expected, but it was a 1.1 last, and the month over month headline up 0.5 versus an expectation of up 0.6. The last was up 0.5, so that was unchanged. And then commodity prices rising signals also some strength for a commodity-based economy like Canada, like the Canadian dollar being a commodity-based currency, but their main commodity, crude oil, fell for a second day straight. So a little bit of a headwind there for the loonie as we go in toward the end of the day, finishing up 1%.